This is where the ancient cities and medieval civilizations emerged and disappeared. This is the cradle of great ideas, a place where science and arts prospered, the crossroads of trade and the boldest ideas. What is Central Asia like today? What do the countries in the region have in common? What is the cultural and genetic code of the peoples living in this part of the world? Stay tuned with Central Asian Guide to find out.
Eyes wide shut. Successors of steppe shamanism in contemporary Kazakh art. Jeweler from Bukhara. A century and a half ago, the famous Kazakh scientist Chokkan Valikhanov said that Kazakhs remain faithful to the customs of their ancestors despite being Muslims. That includes shamanism, which comes from pre-Islamic times and shows the ancient steppe beliefs in the chief deity of Tengri. The legendary Korkut Ata, the bearer of the ancient Turkic spiritual gene, is called the first steppe shaman and the creator of the mystic bow instrument, the kobyz. With the help of kobyz, his followers, shamans or baksay, in Kazakh, communicated with the other world and used to enter it, called the spirits, and even made contact with the cosmos. At the same time, people believed that the spirits of the great ancestors protect all talented people. Kazakh folk singers Akins and Siri also thought so. Today, such spiritual practices can also be found among other creative people, including artists who work in transcendental style. A young Kazakh painter, Renat Yelubay, a laureate of international competitions, remains selfless as a true creator and says that the main thing for him is the spiritual component of creativity as the basis of life.
Мен айтайын дегенім, маған көзімді қажеті жоқ болады кейде.
When I create, often I do not even need my eyes. I get carried away by inner feelings.
Маған ең бастысы бұл картиналарында сезімімді жоғарылату, сезім арқылы
They help me to portray the world.
бейнелерді осындай картинаға бейнелеу. Ал енді мен сіздерге
I want to show some kind of a masterclass. I want to demonstrate this quite unusual direction because, as I said earlier, I do not use my eyes, only my feelings. I draw many pictures in this technique. When the eyes are closed, the person gets other images. The artist enters a special condition. Well, let's try to draw a portrait of a man. So, I open my eyes. Here, as we can see, we have the outline of the portrait. I think I would not be able to get such a result if I drew without the blindfold. And now I will repeat the same thing, but using an oil to make a sketch. It is not the physical sight that goes first, but the person's inner sense of the world. It helps me to create. When I close my eyes, I discover some extraordinary abilities in myself. Kazakhs have always paid special attention to the spiritual side. According to ancient beliefs, many works were made with the help of the spirits of our ancestors. I'm really into it. And I use this approach in my work. That is, I connect ancient traditions and modern fine arts. Here's my canvas. I paint on it. As you can see, I will create with a blindfold using my intuition.
Мен қазір елестетіп отырып салған картинам Bukhara.
I saw the image of a bowl. I don't know how I did it. Now I'll open my eyes. Now, as you see, I'm not misleading anyone. I was blindfolded, so... Yes, look, this is the image of a bowl.
Мен шаманизм деген саланы.
I was fascinated by shamanism. With its help, I came to the conclusion that it is not necessary to use sight to draw pictures. I can see the world around me without its help. The perception of it will only get richer, in my opinion. I'm sure of the effectiveness of this approach. For example, this picture. This is one of the first works I created with my eyes closed. Got carried away by my feelings. The same here. But there is an important point. In the fine arts, there is a principle of going from the general to the particular. Using this principle, after the first spontaneous creative act, I look at the picture with my eyes open and give it a complete look. Let's take a look at this picture. It is different from the others because it was made using a new technique. Do you see the texture? Do you feel its uniqueness? Look at those colors. I must admit I like to work in this direction. Sure, this style requires a lot of paint. And this picture inspires me a lot. The viewer immediately sees the unusual combination of colors. Look at these mountains and their color. What a colorful nature. And this picture shows the preparation of the Kazakhs for the migration. I was carried away with my imagination. I imagined how this could actually happen. There's another similar work. I pictured a Kazakh boy with a dombra in his hands. How he dreams that he will become a musician. Perhaps a performer of cues, like the great Kurmangazi. Look at this work. This is a woman of the Saka era, and at the same time she has pure Kazakh features. She holds her child in her arms. Here I also turned on my imagination, mentally traveled in time. Everything I saw while doing this, I painted on canvas. I wanted to show Mother's love, the all-consuming love of Mother Nature. Renat, hello. Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, perfect. And you? This is my wife, Zaure. The artist says that after he met Zaure, a lot has changed for him. He began to create more freely, out of the academic manner. His pictures started having more light and expression. Art critics are amazed by his new works and say that now Renat's paintbrush has the invisible fire, which lights up the pictures. When I first saw his paintings, they amazed me with their sincerity. He's a person who shows what he really thinks in his pictures. He's constantly looking and moving. That is, he changes different styles. This is normal. I believe that all artists should grow and constantly improve. It depends on his mood. When he has a good, cheerful mood, he uses bright colors. When he feels sad, pictures have many blue, cold tones. This is the way Renat is. He always surprises somehow. He likes to shock the public. Maybe in the future he will come up with something new. We really like to sing together when we are in a bad mood. We like to talk. We can chat all day, go to the cinema. He says that I feel the color and the composition. Sometimes I sit down quietly and look when he draws, but he creates at night. I think that is a common thing for all artists. Yes, at night, you see, it's easier to close the eyes. In the dark, you can draw, and then you wake up in the morning, look at the picture, and there's something. Therefore, I'm usually in the darkness. I can even turn off the light and draw. Light is also not so important to me. When we will sell our paintings for 5 to 6 million tenge, we will go on vacation. Where do you want to go? Well, as you say. You know, it's you on this picture. You posed for me. The Saka Queen. Yes. Is the tea ready? Very good. I added balsamic vinegar and pumpkin oil on this salad. I like to experiment. In 2005, Rinat won the Shabbat Creative Youth Competition in Astana. That was the time when he met Nelly Shivrina, the director of the Museum of Modern Art. He immediately stated that he was mostly inspired by Van Gogh, who was also visionary and selfless like him. I came to the Museum of the First President's Library, and here I am meeting with a wonderful person, an art historian, Nelly Viktorovna. You know, for the artist, his personal qualities are still important. He's a very decent person, very honest, and when he tells something, he tells it sincerely, emotionally, and fairly, childishly. All his emotions, everything, what he experiences, it all splashes on the canvas. The most striking thing is the irrepressible ray of colors. Rinat's use of color becomes his distinctive feature. Those are very bold colors. Hello, is Kulyasha Kabdualiyevna in the office? Hello, how are you doing? Oh, Rinat. Hello, welcome. The artist is very grateful to Kulyasha Aktaeva. She was among those who supported him at the very beginning of his journey. The museum, which keeps the masterpieces presented to Kazakhstan by diplomats and heads of state, regularly hosts the exhibitions, during which people get a chance to see the works of earlier unknown artists. We launched the project On the Wings of Hope. We talked about those talents who always need to promote themselves. And this is a very difficult path. We give wings of hope to gifted representatives of creative youth, and we give preferences to youth from the regions. Since, of course, when you come to the capital, you have to pave the way, and this is a very difficult thing. I remember Rinat Yalubai very well. He was a young man who just came to the city. And for him, a lot of doors were still closed then. He needed to show himself, primarily as an artist, who has an original look and talent. His originality was in sincere painting, sincere brush movement, and subconsciously he accumulated colors, emotions, impressions, the smell of steppe grass that he brought as impressions from his childhood, from his youth. We see the richest collection of silver, the oak branch, as a gift from Vicky Freiberga. These are excellent examples of Indonesian work. This is a set of glasses from Ilham Aliyev. That is, practically each of these exhibits shows features of national charm.
Бұл мұражай
This museum is very dear to me because everything for me started here. It will always be in my heart.
өте ерекше әсер беретін мұражай болып есептеледі. Енді менің көрмем осы
My first exhibition was held in that museum. About 30 of my works were exhibited.
30-ға жуық туындым қойылды.
I wanted to show the way of life of the Kazakh, their connection with nature through the painting.
Мен түстерді өзім батыл
I like to use bright colors and unusual color combinations.
кең көлемде кенепке жаққанды өзім ұнатамын. Мен художник деген магазинге келе
And now I'm going to the art store.
жарақ материалдарды алу үшін
I need to buy materials for work.
магазинге барып өзім
I usually buy everything I need here.
материалдық қоржынымды толтырып отырамын.
Hello. Hi. I came to buy material as well.
Материалдар алуға келгем. Сіздерге таныстырып қояйын деген менің досым.
Let me introduce Almas Sergabayev. He's one of the most talented and famous Kazakh artists, and my close friend. Today we met quite unexpectedly. I'm very happy about that.
Қуанып отырмын. Жалпы қазақ бейнелеу өнерінде көптеген суретшілер
Kazakhstan has many artists, gifted youth. They contribute to the development of national fine arts.
халықаралық деңгейге көтерілуіне. Соның ішінде осы жинақтың
Renat has a special role too.
көп мысалы аға буын суретшілер ала алмаған кереметтегі жетістік.
And fortunately, he has already reached a lot and has also received recognition abroad.
Кемшілігін біледі деген сияқты.
The artist participates in joint actions and exhibitions with his colleagues and also enjoys talking and walking with them in the old part of the city. Renat, look, what a wonderful view. It reminds me of your sketches with images of old Astana. Beautiful, right? Yes, it's amazing.
Ал бүгінгі күні
Thank you for spending time with me. And now, me and Almaz should go to finish some business and maybe stop by the Union of Artists. Goodbye. Bukhara has always been famous for its jewelers and copper chiselers. Once the ancient city, the capital of Sogdia and later of the Bukhara Emirate, had 400 craftsmen. Filigree bracelets made of wrought silver, pendants and earrings with inlays of precious stones brought the city the title of jewelry capital of Central Asia. Modern artisans carefully preserve the original Bukhara style of jewelry, inherited from their grandfathers. Alisher Haydarov is a representative of the 6th generation. Hello, dear guests. How was your trip? Are you tired? This is where we live and make our jewelry. The workshop is downstairs, and here's the house museum. Please come in. Let me show you my collection. I inherited all these pieces, but some things we bought. Silver and gilding were used to create them, as well as coral and carnelian stones. They are covered with enamel. This is a breast accessory for women. And this is a very interesting piece called Khalid Bogi, a key holder. In ancient times, rich women carried keys of dower chests. You can see small keys here. These accessories were mainly worn in the second half of the 18th century. I made a copy of an ancient one, so I tried to preserve this original art. This is the Khwarezm style. These items are decorated with large stones of coral, and this is called tafk, of kafaband. Such decorations were popular in Shahrisabz. That's how we continue the work of our great-grandfathers. We try to pass all the secrets of this craft to children. I have 3 sons. Thank God they also want to be jewelers. And this decoration is called Tilla Kosh or Boli Abru. It looks like a girl's eyebrows. The contours of it repeat the curves of the eyebrows of a beautiful girl. Such accessories were popular mainly in Bukhara and Shakrisabs. This art of the 19th century was recently on the verge of extinction, and we have already restored about 400 types of jewelry. Shahrukh, give me those samples. Come on. My student has been working with me for several years. He's talented and studious. I try to teach young people to pass on my skills to them. Now I have 3 students, and one of them is Shahrukh. Here are his works. Here are the Gushvari earrings. They are made in different styles. Basically, this is a rather ancient tradition. Here it is, Nozi Gardan with animal Dov Tuzi bracelet. Shahrukh, let's go to the workshop. It's time to work. The workshop is located in the house, and according to an old tradition, it should be in the basement. Would you like some tea later? Okay. Then we go straight to the workshop. Despite the fact that it is not easy to go down to the workshop, we like to work in it. Now we will show you our secrets. Traditional art develops in an evolutionary way in contrast to professional individual art. It is important to preserve this historical flavor of the epochs, and our Uzbek masters are trying to do this. And you can see it on numerous pieces of various kinds of art craft of Uzbekistan. First of all, this should be considered as one of the aspects of Turkic culture, because the Uzbek Turkic population of Uzbekistan has its basis. Of course, 4 out of 5 Central Asian countries represent the Turkic culture. These are Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and Turkmenistan. There are a lot of motifs in the applied art of Uzbekistan. These are the archetypes, that is, the ancient cultural layers that formed back in pre-Islamic times during the process of forming the culture of the Western Khaganate, when in the 5th, 6th centuries, the so-called Turco-Sogdian symbiosis was forming. And here we can see traces of the Scythian animal style expressive images. And naturally, the springy plastic arts found an indirect reflection in the motifs of applied art of Uzbekistan of later centuries. Shahrukh, bring me an ingot of silver. It weighs about 30 grams. I will melt it before working on the decoration. First of all, we divide it into 2 halves. So we divide the ingot. Now we will melt it. This must be done in the melting pot, directing the fire this way. I pour the melted silver into a special cast. After casting it, it's necessary to cool it down. The master will create an amazing accessory using a tiny piece of metal. The technology involves the use of filigrees, twisted wire made of silver, which has to be rolled and milled. Basically, the metal is flattened and thinned with the help of special tools. Shahrukh, please make a thin wire out of this piece of metal. please bring what you got. As you can see, this is a longer piece. We will continue to extend it. It will become thinner, and then we will start its processing. We should remember that the metal is very fragile, therefore it needs to be softened. We use fire. Gradually, it becomes softer. Now we are starting to stage the fire processing. First, you need to cut a piece. Now Shokrok will continue to thin the wire, but using another machine. It is necessary to rub the wire with wax. So we make the wire thinner. We pass it through the holes. I need a diameter of 40 microns. So it's already 50 microns. 45. So we got the desired size of silver wire. Now we have the opportunity to create such exquisite jewelry using Filigree Technology. And this is another technology called Basma print. And that's how we create women's jewelry. Now we weld small details. All of them must be securely fastened. Shokrok has been studying jewelry with Alisher Kaidarov for 2 years. During this time, he managed to master a lot because the craftsman also turned out to be a wonderful mentor. The teacher gave this ring to me. He explained how to process it. I will attach the bottom with the help of the so-called swing. You see, it looks like a swing. Now I will attach them here. As you can see, we soldered the right part. Now we could put together those parts. And we need to polish. This decoration looks like a swing. The lower part is called opai. We will then attach it here.
Asosiy shu hunarvanlarning
Every year, the United States hosts one of the most prestigious exhibitions of artisans in the world in the state of New Mexico, in the city of Santa Fe.
har yiliga bir marta bo'lib o'tadigan ko'rgazma. Bu ko'rgazma
This diploma is from the exhibition in 2007.
yil ko'rgazma diploma. Bundan tashqari bo'ladi O'zbekiston kunlari.
Foreign countries organize days of Uzbek culture where we take an active part. For example, in 2006 in France and Paris. And in 2010, we participated in an exhibition in the Japanese city of Nara. It was very interesting. For 3 days, we managed to show the Japanese people the art of Uzbek folk artisans. Also, there were another chasers, jewelers, embroiderers, and masters from other spheres.
Ko'p kishi savol beradi, zargarlikni qanday o'rgangansizlar deb.
Many people ask me how I learned to make jewelry. I answer that when I was a little boy, I always tried to be near my grandfather to learn from him. And so by the time I became an adult, I already knew how to make things.
Mani ham masalan o'sha o'g'illarim ham xuddi shunday o'rgangan.
Everyone in our family was fond of this business, and my children are interested in doing this. I'm very grateful that once I mastered this art, this is what I live for. I really like it. Through our creativity, we, folk artisans, introduce the culture of Uzbekistan to the world. All the best. I wish you happiness and prosperity. Come back and visit us.